Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up for you. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.43 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off by 2.6%, but I think you're going to love the technical analysis that we look at before we get out of here today. Bitcoin right now, 93,400 plus. Ethereum, 3,300 plus. So you can see the whole market getting hit right now. Tether right now at 138 billion plus market cap and holding. Number 4 spots XRP at 207. Quite a retrace right now, ladies and gentlemen. You got to have a strong constitution to be in this crypto space. We're off by 4.9 in the 24 and off 6.7 on the 7-day. Looking at the range of price, we're ranging between 204 and 218. So you can see the pullback happening here. Again, I would reserve all my emotions and all my feelings until you see these charts before we get out of here today. I do want to remind everybody that Link2 is the best home for private equity on the planet, bar none. If you don't believe me, click the link below and get started. It takes just but a few minutes to sign up, register, and fund your account. And I don't mind telling you, there's a lot of you out here that don't realize that you, in fact, are walking around accredited right now because of the change of price in XRP and other assets in the market. So make sure you're constantly monitoring your portfolio to see if you now become accredited. And remember, you may live in a jurisdiction where there is no accreditation rules. So click the link below and sign up and get started. You won't believe the opportunities inside. Let's start right here because there is a call and an understanding and certainly an undertow in our conversation here on this channel, a massive concern about the U.S. dollar's dominance and a collapse of that dollar. Let's take a listen to the Kevin Shipp, former CIA officer right here. Shout out to DAI for this clip.
And it's just they keep centralizing, and you've been talking a lot about decentralizing, and it's really important that people understand that. So a lot of people are turning to Bitcoin, and then suddenly you see now BlackRock's involved in Bitcoin, and this is involved in Bitcoin, and nobody really knows where it came from. So we have some kind of financial implosion coming that looks like it's being manipulated. And I think that's also part of the CIA operation itself, because they don't want to ever have to show where their money went. So
it's the CIA's dream come true. And
right.
The CIA right now is actively working towards a global digital currency because it's pretty clear the dollar is going to collapse. And our $36 trillion national debt is going to collapse. And we can barely make the payment on the interest right now, which is equivalent to the entire budget of the Department of Defense. So there is a gross economic crisis coming to America. The signs are everywhere. The CIA knows that, as well as the White House National Security Council. So they're all in for cryptocurrency, and they're pushing for the CIA specifically, a global cryptocurrency, and when the U.S. dollar eventually collapses.
So there we have it right there. That's his take on what the CIA is doing, which is known as the deep state, right? So now let's take it, which along with other agencies, bad actors and government agencies using it for their own agenda and not the agenda of the people, basically, right? Now listen to here. This is one of the Brunson brothers explaining the problem with the Fed. And when everyone figures out what the Fed has been doing, uh-oh.
Well, and we're going to see something even more bizarre. We're going to see how fooled everyone has been, even the people we trust as being super intelligent and on top of everything. We're going to see exposure about the Federal Reserve that's going to blow everyone away. They're going to realize that we didn't need to be taxed at all on any level, and that every dollar created out of thin air was supposed to be profit for the Treasury, not tax debt. And when that is understood by the mainstream population, believe me, it's going to be a revolution. People are going to come unglued.
Now, you know, when you just think of this and what we've just heard, these last two things, now point your attention towards DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, the task that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy have been put
we're going to see something even
to reduce the size of government. You know, take a listen to this real quick. Listen to Elon Musk very quickly here.
You get taxed on what you own, you get taxed on what you buy, and you get taxed on what you own. And it's like, okay, this is you know, taxes, 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 and
it has to stop, right? Now, I don't know if the music's in that copywritten, but he says, you know, and what does it get spent on? A bunch of the stuff it gets spent on you don't even agree with. So you know that's why we need to reduce government spending, right? You know, this is not hard to understand. Our back is up against the wall. The dollar has been overprinted. The spending and the debt is out of control. The only way to bring confidence back to your people inside of your country, the only way to bring countries and the confidence back to your dollar and your word, that your word is your word, is to reduce the size of government, is to scalp out the taxes that are just burdensome, and get us back to a place where the power of the government is in the hands of we the people, not only for the decision making, but for the understanding that from we the people don't want to be burdened and our children's children burdened with a tax, or a debt rather, that they're taxed over and over and over for. And they just continue to find new layers and new ways to come at us with another tax. This has to stop. And I think this is where we're going here. Just like right around the corner, the inauguration, is it? Janet Yellen says U.S. debt ceiling mid-January, forcing the Treasury to employ extraordinary measures. Well, isn't this what they do every single time? Kick the can down the road, then we raise the debt ceiling. We don't fix anything. We don't change the government. We don't get rid of wasteful spending. We don't close down agencies we don't need that are redundant. This is where we're getting ready to go, and that's why I believe we have a chance to move to a golden age, a renaissance for America. Think of it for a moment. We're such a young country. Europe's had a renaissance, an explosion and birth of innovation and art, right? Think of it. The people really just coming into their own. You know, that's a moment here in America waiting to happen, and I think that moment's in front of us.
And we finally, I think, have a crypto president. The crypto industry has embraced Trump. Trump has embraced the crypto industry.
He really has. He really has.
And we're finally seeing that kind of unlocked in a Trump embraced crypto and crypto embraced Trump. And I think it's clear that Donald Trump embraced crypto and crypto embraced Donald Trump.
Instead of attacking industries of the future, we will embrace them, including making America the world capital for crypto.
We're embracing the future with crypto and leaving the slow and outdated big banks behind.
I think so. We're going to do something great with crypto because we don't want China or anybody else, and not just China, but others are embracing it. And we want to
be an unbelievable champion of crypto. Again, it's coming. Everybody knows it's coming, and the people who don't embrace it early are going to ultimately lose.
Report said that the team was vetting candidates to serve in such a role after Trump has staged his embrace of the industry.
There you have it right there. So when I look at this and you think about it, it's not just the innovation that he's embracing. It's also embracing the understanding that government has gotten too big, the taxes are too burdensome, and the debt and the printing of money, which President Trump participated in the first 4 years of his presidency, has got to stop. Now, it doesn't mean that they won't print through this, but they have to have an answer that comes into play that restores the confidence around the world. The first tool used in that is tariffs, because tariffs have now caused Saudi Arabia to stall and hold up on joining BRICS coalition, because they know that they'll get hit with 100% tariffs if they do. This keeps the confidence in the dollar. This brings everyone back to the table for negotiations so they can make a better deal for tomorrow, not just for them, but for the United States too. Meanwhile, what do we see? We see the embrace around the world when it comes to digital assets, stablecoins, the killer use case. And it's not just private companies anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, France-based Société Générale is launching a euro-backed stablecoin for retail investors off of the XRP ledger. And don't forget the big fight that's happening internally. Banks in the United States are awaiting regulatory approval to offer stablecoins, while JP Morgan Chase tests blockchain-based payment settlement system. Some banks are increasing interest in stablecoins. Currently, JP Morgan only uses JPM coin for internal transfers with no publicly accessible stablecoin on the market. Greater acceptance of the stablecoin tokenized deposits, is anticipated in the future. So now, coming down to here, they highlight the MiCA regulations, which we know go into effect today. MiCA regulations go into effect today. Tether is getting delisted on multiple exchanges today. And there is a time period and a window they have to push Tether off of platforms, but that starts today. Meanwhile, we know December 16th, we saw the launch of the Real USD, which is suggested to be a highly regulated, highly monitored, transparent, monthly audited stablecoin launched by Ripple on Ethereum and the XRP ledger, and soon to follow many other protocols like Cardano and others. Think about where we're going here. Understand that Crippen Writer says, I hear people fantasizing about ISO 20022 and the SWIFT, but not realizing what XRP can actually replace. Open your arms wide to SWIFT, as SWIFT is not the enemy. The one that really matters is the three-letter company with a market capitalization of $678.97 billion. You know, the gatekeeper we just talked about, JP Morgan Chase, responsible for like 99% of the cross-border payments currently. Now you know why they're up in this conversation. But now you know why SWIFT is not the problem. SWIFT is not the adversary. It's JP Morgan. The Real USD is greenlisted here with the NYDFS in the United States. The Real USD is MiCA compliant. MoonPay is MiCA compliant and MiCA approved also. They just received approval under the MiCA compliance regulations in the Netherlands. Shout out to MoonPay. They're going to be at XRP Las Vegas. Did you get your ticket before the price goes up? Now let's just look at what Ripple has done here. The advisory board for the Real USD. Think of it for a moment. We don't have institutions even using the Real USD yet. Ripple has made it clear that they're going to start doing that in early 2025. We haven't even seen that begin yet. But Ken Montgomery from the Federal Reserve is a part of that advisory board for the Real USD. He was also in charge of the design and the launch of the Federal Reserve's FedNow system, for which Ripple was a part of. See, so Ken Montgomery coming from the Federal Reserve to Ripple as an advisor for the Real USD feels more like an integration and transition team move than it does an advisory role. Doesn't it? Or how about Dr. Rajan, who is the head of the Reserve Bank of India, the governor there, the Reserve Bank of India, vice chairman for the Bank of International Settlements. He was a chief economist and director of research for International Monetary Fund, and now he is on the advisory board for the Ripple's Real USD. He's also the same gentleman I asked in 2019 Swell to talk about how XRP could serve as a banker coin like John Maynard Keynes has suggested from the IMF. Yeah, that same Dr. Rajan. We've been at this for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. And how about Sheila Bair? You know, the woman voted the most powerful woman twice in the world. The former FDIC chair, Sheila Bair. These things are not an accident from where I'm sitting. And it isn't just about embracing the technology. That's why I showed you the doom and gloom about a possible dollar collapse, the doom and gloom about, the whole idea that we got so much money printed, the debt is out of control. These things all play a factor into why we need a stable coin. Because, and I'm going to give you the answer, the velocity of money. You have to move money around the world much faster than you do right now to get the world moving again. And you have to do it by getting confidence behind the dollar again. You have to do it by showing them you're scaling down government and removing taxes. You have to do it by showing them you have a way to get the debt paid down. That's embracing Bitcoin, probably in a strategic reserve bill and a basket of other assets. Think about what's happening right now. It's all coming together to propel the dollar as the leader once again in the new digital era. I really do believe that's where we're going. Taking a look at this, 48 hours remaining, ladies and gentlemen, says Mac Attack here in the article inside. Eggrag Crypto says we have 48 hours. This is from a day or two ago, and we're looking at it yesterday. So now we're down to 24. We want to see where this candle close goes, because if this candle close goes where we want it to, we're going to have some bullish days ahead of us. Some bullish days ahead of us. And we know what he's told us. Anything between $2 and $2.50 or $2.60, noise. But here's what you do need to know. We're going to get that in a second here. I'll give it to you. And here's where we sit on the chart right now. This is Javon TM right here. This is where we sit. Does that look bullish to you? Does that look like we're repeating here? Does it look scary to you? I don't know. I can't say for you. Only you can know. Going back to Eggrag Crypto here, he gives us the levels to look at. Resistance and support. Let's take a look at it. Resistance levels here. Do you remember the resistance levels when they were at 60, 65 cents and 75 cents? He says, I believe we're facing similar resistance now, just $2 higher. The key resistant ranges to watch here, 260, 265, and 275. Breaking through these levels will activate the upper targets we've all talked about so much. Key level to monitor, $2. A confirmed break here could lead us towards lower targets. So if we go lower targets, we'll look at 164 and 137 and 122 should we see some kind of dip or pullback. And I don't know about you, but I'll be buying the dip all the way down. And I just bought the dip this morning. Yeah. And shout out to our youngest who just did the same. Come on in. That's how we do it, fam. And here's the update you want to know from Dark Defender here. And shout out to everyone involved in the TA world here. We just are so grateful for each and every one of you. Looking at this right here, he says, update 2024 breakout in a nutshell. Right there. The 2025 God candle awaits. And I say, so do we. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. We have some great stuff in the Freedom Zone. You're not going to want to miss it. You can go to digperspectives.com, click the Freedom Zone, come on in for next to nothing. It's a great way to support the channel, and we're super grateful for each one of you to do. We're going in right now. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Come on in. All right, let's get started.